So normally I don't mind haters. I've been dealing with haters since 2021 on YouTube. It's gotten to the point I can't deal with them no more. Okay? I am dealing with too much hurt. I am dealing with too much heartbreak. I'm dealing with too much sadness and suffering over the loss of my beautiful, beautiful wife, Jennifer, and my mother, Josephine. I'm sorry. I cannot deal with people coming on live streams, even making comments on videos that are just inappropriate. It's just something I can't deal with right now. Okay. What I truly need is love and support. That's what I need because this is way too much. This is way too much. Jennifer was too young. She was only 46 years old. Now, granted, I understand a lot of people, this is another thing. Everyone always gets very argumentative. They're like, but Rich, she had cancer for 10 years. You understand that. She did well, and she did do well. I'm not saying no. She was an amazing, amazing warrior. And she fought really hard. She fought the good fight really hard. But this is the thing. Nobody understands that you have to live with Jen. If you lived with her, you would see that she never acted like someone who had cancer. She was so strong. I've seen, I called it a miracle woman. Even when she got her treatments, right? She had brain surgery. Everyone thought I was lying. The next day she was out. The next day, and she was at like Outback Steakhouse. She was the strongest woman that I've ever seen in my life. I'm telling you, it's not a joke. She's so strong, and she handled this with such power. I mean, she told cancer, go home and get your shine box. Go home and get your shine box, cancer. She did. She was so tough, Jennifer. But she was so tough that I forgot she had cancer because she didn't act like someone who did have cancer only up until the end. Only up until the end. And it was really this aspiration pneumonia. That's when I started seeing things happen right after Sophia's birthday. We had Sophia's birthday on January 7th. Jennifer was there singing to her daughter. We were enjoying a beautiful family day, a beautiful celebration of my daughter's 11th birthday. And then after that, that's when that aspiration pneumonia came. Now, granted, it probably started because of the cancer that was in the brain that was making it hard for Jennifer to chew, hard for Jennifer to swallow. She mentioned it to me, but I really wasn't sure what it was. I didn't know. She went to the hospital. They released her. Like, look, they told me she had a urinary tract infection. That was before we knew that she had pneumonia. I just want you to know, I took her to the hospital. They said, look, Rich, she's probably going to be very weak. And, I saw that she was having trouble standing up. And I was attributing it to possibly the urinary tract infection. But then as her symptoms got worse and I took her to the hospital the second time, they said it was the aspiration pneumonia. And then, unfortunately, it was just too much for that poor girl. And I tried everything on my heart to save her. I was by her side every single day. I even asked her, I'm like, Jen, am I coming enough? She was like, I was there every day, loving her, supporting her, kissing her, holding her hand while she was on a ventilator, one time for 5 days, then 14 days. She was on a feeding tube because it was like she couldn't swallow anything. They're like, she could aspirate. That's what broke my heart the most is I love feeding my wife. That was what I took pride in joy in my whole life. My whole relationship with my beautiful wife, Jennifer, was taking her to the best restaurants, always taking her to her favorite place, Pleasure Bowl, getting her coffee. She loved her bagels. She was a big bagel person. And it's just, I remember before it was Sophia's birthday, I took her to the local bagel store to get her famous, she loved her tuna fish and provolone with an everything bagel. That's what she loved, Jennifer. And she told me, she was like, honey, I'm having trouble biting into the bagel. I'm like, my God. She ate the tuna fish, she ate the provolone, but it's just so heartbreaking. It's so sad. And that's what I'm trying to tell people. I'm having a very difficult time with the loss of my wife. Look, I love my mother. I love my mother with all my heart and soul. I understand it more. It makes sense to me more. She was 75. She had the COPD. She had the triple bypass. She was on oxygen. She had pneumonia herself. But in my mom's case, she wasn't moving right for like 8 years. Since her triple bypass for 2018, I kept telling her, Ma, please, you got grandkids. You got to have that will to live, get up, walk. I was trying to help her, but it's just a combination of a lot of things with my mom. My father passed away in 2020. I think she went into a depression. They didn't have the greatest marriage, but I think it affected her. I do believe that my father passing away really affected her because she just didn't want to get up. She didn't want to move. She didn't want to move. And unfortunately, I told her, say, Mom, if you don't walk, if you don't get up, eventually this thing could catch up. You get like a blood clot or something. And unfortunately, it happened. I loved my mother with all my heart and soul. I do. I love her. I love Ma. I'll love you forever. But in the case of Jen, she was fighting this whole time, the whole time. Jennifer was up. Jennifer was moving. Jennifer was fighting. Jennifer wanted to live. She wanted to live. She wanted to be here. She wanted to be here for the kids. She wanted to. She was only 46. It's just so heartbreaking. My mom, I think at some point, unfortunately, I think she gave up on the zest of life. I wish she didn't. I love her so much. I still picture my mom when I was a young kid in Brooklyn. My mother was a powerhouse back then. That's how I want to remember my mom. She was like Superwoman. She would be cleaning the house, cooking, never sat down, never took a break. She was so strong. That's the way I want to remember my mom. I want to remember her like that. But as far as my wife, even up until the final moments, she was there for us. She was always there for us. She was fighting. And I miss her so much. I need her. I talk to her still. I still talk to her. It's hard for me to accept it. I can't accept it. It's like I accept it, but I don't accept it, if that makes any sense. I do accept it that she's passed away. But 27 years of my life I spent with her. Every day, it's so hard. You have no idea. But one thing I will tell you is during this time of grieving, which is probably going to be a long time for me, for my beautiful wife, I cannot deal with hate anymore. I cannot deal with haters. And I really, really wish that you could just respect that. I wish you could just say, you know what, Rich, putting aside our differences or whatever it is, we're going to respect you. We're going to respect that you need this time. Grieving, we want to be there for you. We want to help you. But they're too relentless, these haters. So I have to just block them. That's it. I can't even give them a second because they come to these live streams with so much hate. And I'm sorry, I just can't deal with it. I just can't.